Unique to Liberty Virtual Courtroom, the conference management window serves as the primary control center for managing participants during an active video conference. You can open this window in one of two ways: from within Liberty Court Recorder in Recorder Integrated mode, or through the Virtual Courtroom app as a remote participant in standalone mode. Throughout this tutorial series, we'll explore the Conference Manager window in standalone mode. As you might expect, the main difference between the two modes is related to recording. In Recorder Integrated mode, you can control the recorder and the virtual conference from within the same interface. Whereas in standalone mode, the recorder is managed separately and appears in the lobby list as a remote participant. But in either case, the management window is the same and organizes all controls into three main sections. On the right, the lobby pane includes various filters with lists of participants waiting to join. At the top left, the gallery displays active meeting participants and related room controls. And on the bottom left, the message exchange area allows for text and file sharing between you and any of the other connected participants. You can resize each section by dragging its divider, and the entire window can be adjusted from the lower right corner. But no matter the size, we recommend keeping this window open at all times. Now that you're familiar with the conference management window, let's explore how to use its controls, starting with the lobby. At the top of the lobby, you'll find two key filters. The first is a courtroom drop-down menu, which allows managers with access to multiple virtual rooms to view participants across any room or all rooms on the server. This filter is especially useful for locating participants in different rooms without needing to log out or switch links. The second filter is a docket number drop-down, displaying all numbers associated with the selected lobby. By default, the lobby will show all numbers, but when a specific number is selected, the lobby will only display participants with that corresponding number. Below these filters, the lobby header organizes participant details into columns like name, connected court, meeting start time, docket or case number, role, and notes. You can adjust this view by right-clicking the header to show or hide specific columns based on your needs. Let's take a look at what participants see before we start managing them. First, it's important to note that participants can only access the lobby through an invitation link. These links are created separately and can be generic or restricted based on the needs of the court. When a participant is connected to the lobby, they cannot see, hear, or communicate with anyone, including other participants in the lobby. From their perspective, all that they can see is that they are connected. In fact, participants can't even send messages until a conference manager messages them first. Additionally, messages exchanged in the lobby are limited to text. File sharing is only available in the gallery. These security features help keep communication focused and minimize potential distractions for the manager. Speaking of distractions, if you need to update a participant's information, right-click their name to access participant settings. This section allows you to change a participant's name, docket number, role, and role color. If needed, you can also add participant notes that are visible only to other managers and are not part of the official record. Last but not least, you can make frequently connected participants easier to identify by marking them as preferred, which adds a check mark beside their name. You can then filter the list to display only preferred participants by selecting the button on the right. To remove someone from the preferred list, simply click their name and deselect the check mark. Now that we've prepped our participants in the lobby, let's look at moving them. In the lobby controls, you'll find three main options for managing participants: Move to Gallery, Move to Conference, and Terminate Connection. It should come as no surprise that terminating a connection is pretty self-explanatory. It can be used to remove disruptive participants, disconnect users who neglect to log off, or hang up phone calls and SIP sessions. When clicked from either the lobby or gallery controls, a participant will be forcibly logged out from the server and must use a valid link, number, or credentials to rejoin. This leaves the other two buttons, both of which transfer participants from the lobby to the gallery, but in very different ways. For instance, Move to Gallery moves a participant to the gallery in listen-only mode by default, allowing them to hear the session but not be seen or heard. And when a recorder is connected, Participants in listen-only mode do not occupy a recording channel until a manager starts conferencing with them, which makes this mode ideal for queuing participants or managing who speaks and when. By contrast, Move to Conference bypasses the listen-only mode and activates both audio and video upon entering the gallery. When recording, this action will automatically assign the participant a recording channel, as long as one is available. This option is helpful for when queuing participants isn't needed, or the person in question needs to join right away, such as those who arrive late to the session. To perform any of these actions, select the participant's name and then the desired button. You can also control-click multiple names to manage participants as a group. Anytime a participant is moved from the lobby to the gallery, they must accept a prompt on their screen to confirm they're ready to join. If a participant doesn't respond, you can right-click their name and select Chime to get their attention. This chime will play a continuous ringtone only they can hear until they accept the request. To confirm whether a participant has received the chime, you can check the status of the chime request in the conference log, located just below the chat box. Now that we've covered moving participants, active conferencing, and recording channels, let's take a closer look at the gallery. Just like the lobby, the gallery has a header at the top, controls on the right, and a list of active participants in the center. And while many functions are similar to those in the lobby, the gallery introduces two additional columns, status and channel, along with action buttons for muting, calling, and managing private rooms. At the top of the gallery list, you'll see an entry titled My Session, which is listed in italics to distinguish it from other participants. This entry shows data about your connection and, just like any other user, can be right-clicked for options such as being moved to a private room. Speaking of private rooms, you can set, rename, and check the status of all these rooms by accessing Private Room Settings from the Conference Manager menu. Just remember that if you plan to join a private room, you must move other participants into it first. Then, you can move yourself as the last step. In addition to private rooms, it's important to note that Liberty Virtual Courtroom also supports phone users and can dial out to landlines, VoIP phones, and SIP addresses as needed. To initiate a call, simply press the Call button to open the softphone window. This window includes an address book at the top, two text fields underneath, action buttons on the right, and a dialer event log at the bottom. To call a contact from your address book, simply select the contact, then click the corresponding call button. Note that only SIP addresses can support video calls. All other numbers will initiate as audio calls only. To dial any number not listed in your address book, choose this option from the list, then enter the full phone number or SIP address in the field below. Phone numbers should include digits only, starting with the country code, and omit spaces, parentheses, or hyphens. Once you enter a number, you'll need to name the contact. But before placing the call, you can choose two options for actions that take place when the call is answered. The first checkbox bypasses the listen-only mode of the gallery and will move the caller straight into conferencing. This is important because phone users who are not actively in conference will be placed on hold. The second checkbox opens a dial pad for automated answering services, like the language line. As you may have guessed, it's best to keep both boxes checked when placing any call, as it can be disorienting for participants to be put on hold immediately after picking up. And if you place a call during an active recording, just make sure you have at least one recording channel available. Once a call is placed, the dial window will close, and the letter T will appear next to the participant's name in the gallery. If the call goes unanswered, the name will automatically clear from the gallery. But don't worry, manually entered contacts are saved temporarily during the session, so if you need to redial, they'll be readily available in the address book until the session ends.